Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says a pullout of Russian troops is slow but noticeable in the north. But Zelensky also warned that hard battles lie ahead in the east of the country around the Donbass and Kharkiv regions.
Well, meanwhile, a Red Cross convoy will again attempt to evacuate civilians from the Ukrainian city of Mariupol today. It's after a rescue team had to turn back yesterday, saying conditions made it impossible to proceed. Well,
Thomas Jones is with us now. He's a British expat, if you like, who fled the country with his wife, who is from Ukraine himself. Yourselves, in fact, you both are. You've got very strong ties there now.
Yes.
What is the latest as far as your family is concerned?
Well, the week before last, there was the bombing in Lviv, first at the military base in Yavoriv and then 2 locations in Lviv proper. That was very worrying because it was very close to home. We're from Lviv, which is western Ukraine. It was untouched until then, so it kind of touched home that things are moving closer to where we live. I've got a lot of friends in all over Ukraine, so it's a difficult moment.
What about your mother-in-law? Because she's still there, isn't she?
Yeah, my mother-in-law's there. We speak to her on a daily basis. She's worried, but she's quite resilient. She's a tough woman, but still. We worry about her. I'm going back next week to make sure that she's okay, take some things over for various people that are in the military that need some military equipment and things like this.
I mean, you're over here at the moment staying with your daughter in London.
Yes.
And your wife is too. I just wonder what it's like for you sitting in London, watching the TV news or whatever. That must have such a debilitating effect on you. Particularly her.
It's a hard one. We've left. I had the luxury of having a British passport, so I could leave. Anybody between the ages of 18 and 60 cannot leave Ukraine. When we were crossing the border, I had real sense of guilt, but I can do things in other ways. So I've been raising money via GoFundMe. I started We Support Ukraine. So basically, I'm doing my bit there. I'm going back next week, one to look after my mother-in-law, see how she's doing.
Is there any way of bringing her out?
She doesn't want to move.
She doesn't want to?
No, she doesn't. I've offered, we've tried, she's just not budging.
Which must worry your wife even more?
She's not sleeping. She was meant to come this morning with me. She's not sleeping. She's always news watching, always on the net. So it's not easy. Not easy for her. To be away from her mother.
Are you surprised at what's happening? In terms of the fact that the almighty Russia has not managed to destroy the Ukrainian spirit?
They underestimated Ukraine. Fortunately, for Ukraine, the almighty Russia isn't almighty Russia right now, is it?
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. I think they just, didn't plan anything. It was a picnic that went wrong for them. And I think great for Ukraine. I think they, really resilient people. They love their country. They, care about what's going on. And they've got this fighting spirit, which is unbelievable,
We were told that from the beginning, so Russia must have known. But they clearly, as you said, underestimated the fighting spirit that ordinary Ukrainians have.
Putin probably was ill-advised and probably thought it would be a walk in the park. And look what's happened, it's not so.
And there are lots of reports today, there's a big report in the Times about his state of health. And there's not because we want to, engender any sympathy, but apparently he has been visited by specialist doctors for thyroid cancer 37 times in the last couple of months, which leads people, the intelligence agencies are thinking, is he very ill or has he had surgery and that's why they're keeping tabs on him? But it would also explain why he likes to sit about 8 foot away from anybody when he's even entertaining other
I think he's
politicians.
not well. He's not well. Maybe we could say,
It's a very diplomatic way of saying it.
Yeah, maybe you should drink some tea that he likes to give other people. Might do him good. That's a very nice thing to say, but, we've had enough.
I understand you feeling.
We've had enough. I've had enough. The Ukrainian people have had enough. And I think people in Russia, subject to...
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you talk about... Obviously, you've got your wife's family, but your colleagues as well. I'm not quite sure what your line of business is, but... There's going to be if this ended tomorrow, you've got a problem that so much infrastructure has been destroyed in Ukraine. I mean, that's going to cause now problems, severe problems for the Ukrainians for years to come. Isn't it?
For rebuilding, for the cost. I mean, Mariupol has basically been levelled. Historical city like Mariupol. Parts of Kiev, all these places, Luhansk, Sumy, all these places. So, yeah, it's a big rebuilding process, and it's not something that's going to happen in a couple of weeks. My wife thinks that, if things end, we'll be back in a month. Yeah, we can be back in a month, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all there. For business to restart, for people to be rehomed, things to be fixed, infrastructure, money, all these things. It's not going to be an overnight or over month thing that's going to happen there.
At the same time, there's no doubt that there is an awful lot of international support, though.
That there is, which is incredible. This home scheme for refugees, NGOs, bringing stuff in. I think there's been a really amazing amount of help that's come from places also you wouldn't expect. So that's amazing.
But it is not over yet.
No, it's not over. Can I just ask you about, and it might sound daft, but it's almost struck me as a little bit sort of wokery, if you like, that suddenly everyone's going Kyiv. And I've noticed we had a Ukrainian lady in a couple of weeks ago who said Kiev, and I noticed you said Kiev. Did the Ukrainians say Kiev?
Kiev. Yeah, I mean, I hear someone say Kiev and I think of chicken Kiev.
Yeah.
Being there, you do get into this, the proper pronunciations of places and like this. The Russian is Kiev. It's Kyiv.
Kyiv.
Yeah.
Kyiv.
There we go.
How long have you had Ukrainian connections?
7 years now.
7 years.
7 years.
Do you speak the language? Okay.
Not very well. Very good traffic Ukrainian.
Traffic Ukrainian, is that what they call it?
Yes, for kind of traffic situations. But no, my business, as you asked, is I run a languages services, so I teach English in IT companies. Also, I was doing free lessons to military and also to kids, and so it's.
Well, let's hope you can get back to that.
Yeah.
Let's hope I can.
Rather than later.
Yeah.
Look, it's really good to talk to you. Do give our best to your wife.
Thank you.
And I hope that, I don't know, if she can turn the TV off. Not often I say that to people.
Yeah.
It's just...
How could you, though? You want to watch
it's
it on
hard.
time, wouldn't
It's
you? That's
hard,
the trouble. You obsess about it.
Sure.
Bless her. Well, look, our very best to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.